Hi, I'm Shonda Miles. I'm a business consultant. I just want to talk to you about whenever we want to talk about people, whenever we want to say something negative about people, we got to start looking at ourselves. We got to start holding up the mirror to ourselves and asking ourselves, am I perfect? And when we look at ourselves and we realize that we are not perfect, when we really internalize it, when we really realize that we are not perfect, we have all these different things that's wrong with us, all these different faults, all these different mistakes that we've made, all these different things that we've done that hurt other people. When we internalize, we really start thinking about things totally different. And so when we want to be negative, when we want to talk about other people, we got to look at ourselves. We got to look at ourselves. We got to look at ourselves and ask ourselves, am I perfect? We got to ask ourselves, am I an example of how the ideal person would act? And oftentimes we're not, because we're a work in progress. We're all works in progress. We're all going through challenges. We all been hurt. We all had some type of trauma, whether it's big or small. We have stuff that happened to us. So we got to ask ourselves, am I an example? Am I like the highest standard? Am I the best that I can be in this particular area? And a lot of times we all have it, even if it's a little bit, we can improve. We're not the best that we can be. We have things that we can improve. We need to change. And so the next thing is, do I know their story? So if I want to talk about somebody, if I want to be negative about somebody, if I want to say whatever I want to say about them, I got to ask myself, do I know their story? Because a lot of times we're talking about them, complaining, blaming them for something, and we don't know their story. We don't know what has happened in their past. And so when we have life experiences, things change us, right? They affect us, and sometimes subtly, sometimes in a major way, but we got to ask ourselves, do we know their story? The next thing is, do I know them? Do I know them personally? Have I talked to them? Have I had a conversation? Have I sit down and talked to them multiple times? Because, one or two times is not good enough, because, we can have some bad days, right? We can be different on a bad day than we are on our regular, normal baseline, right? So we got to ask ourselves, are we talking to this person? Have we had, a connection? Have we spent time with them? So the next thing is, have I listened without judgment? And, sometimes we go into something and a person looks a certain way, they behave a certain way, they do certain things, and we make judgments. They make an error in judgment. They say something and it, it triggers something in us. They look a certain way, they talk a certain way, and we judge them without listening. We judge them without giving them a chance. And are we really to judge? Do we have a place to judge somebody, right? Is our judgment cloudy? And typically it is, right? It's clouded by our own experiences, our own values, our own beliefs, our own perspectives. Our judgment is always clouded. We're never looking at things as the best that they could be. We're never seeing the best in things. And then the last thing is, if we want to talk about somebody and we want to be negative about somebody, do I think I'm superior? And a lot of times we think that we're inferior. We think that we're superior, and we think the other person is inferior. But we got to, put people on equal playing ground. We got to put people on equal playing field. We got to stop thinking that we're better than people and realize that we're all the same. We're all imperfect, working to be better, in most cases, right? So if I want to talk about somebody, if I want to be negative about somebody, I got to be asking myself these questions. I got to hold the mirror to myself and ask myself, am I perfect? Am I an example? Am I a perfect example? Do I know their story? Do I know them personally? Have I spent time with them, talking to them? Am I listening without judgment? Is my judgment cloudy? And then finally, do I think I'm superior? And I think sometimes we have these preconceived notions about somebody. We've made a snap judgment about somebody. We haven't even given them a chance. So just something to be thinking about today when you're dealing with people, and we have our negative flags come up. We automatically want to prejudge somebody. Give people a chance. And so we can be better by giving people a chance without just jumping to negativity, because people have bad days, right? We all have bad days. I know for a fact we don't want to be judged by our worst days. We just don't. We don't want to be judged by our worst days. So if we don't want somebody to judge us by our worst days, give people a chance. Over and over again, give people a chance to show you it might have been like 2 bad days. It might have been something that's happened. Maybe something going on in their life that we don't know anything about, Just give people a chance. So if you like this video has been helpful, you can go to shondamiles.com, sign up to be on my email list, and you'll get a daily video from YouTube, a daily blog post, and a daily podcast.